And the Challenge Cup final. Ben
And the
Thaler,
first international.
of course, has been the video referee at some of the biggest occasions this year.
I like hearing his voice. I like Ben Thaler's voice. He's got quite a good voice, isn't he? For when you hear him on the BBC coverage.
He comes across as a potential character in our game as well, I think. Ben Thaler. So yeah, good stuff there. Votes were also.
Do you think generally? I mean, I'm just tangentially. I think. Do you think we've gone backwards from trying to promote our referees as people and characters? Look, a few years ago when we had the Ask the Ref thing on Twitter, and you used to see some of them sort of go in the media a bit more and tell their stories a bit more. Do you think we've rode back from that a bit, and it's something we should do more of?
I think it's a really difficult balance to strike, and I think the experiments that were made with pushing out the ref profiles around about 4 years or so ago were really positive ideas. They were treated poorly by the general spectating public, and if a referee goes out there and puts themselves out there, I feel probably it was just used as another stick to beat them with, which is
an interesting contrast with rugby union here, because you've got two international refs in rugby union who are well known. I mean, Nigel Owens hosts a chat show, so you've got him, being very open about his personal life and his struggles and everything is out there, and he's a very much a media personality in his own right, and he does that. And then you've also got in Southern Hemisphere, you've got Steve Walsh, who's an interesting character, who's retired now, but I wonder if that's something that we do need to think about and trying to humanise them as much, because that would stop a lot of the nastiness, I think, that goes on.
Like I say, I think it might work the other way. I think it gives people another stick to beat them with, because fans take decisions personally. Anyone who thinks that the man in the middle has got a bias towards one team or the other is already taking things far too personally. Other people who received votes in this category were Tara Jones and Phil Bentham, but they didn't earn enough votes to be in the.
The games to votes ratio for Phil Bentham's got to be the highest ever.
Well, he did a lot of video refereeing, didn't he? Over the course of the year. And
he had a nice sit down. Yeah.
Other people received votes, and those votes did not count, and people will understand why. But votes were also made for Sam Tompkins and Chris Hill. Moving on.
Well, yeah. If you're doing it down under, you'd have to vote for Cameron Smith, wouldn't you?
Moving on to Championship or League One Player of the Year. Again, this was another new award. It was taken from an open vote. We gave you the floor here because there's so many people you could have picked from. So, Tim, do you want to take us through how the voting went on this category?
Yep, so 20 players overall received votes. So we started off with Alex Walker, so over at the London Broncos. Eddie Batty, of course, getting a vote in there. Gareth O'Brien, Richard Whiting, Scott Murrell, and Joe Batchelor all got multiple votes, as well as our top three. So starting in third place was Mark Corrala of Toulouse. Second place, the Jam Sandwich himself, Jared Samet. And the winner, there can only be one, the Mandarin himself, Jonathan Ford.
Yeah, of course, Jonathan Ford had an outstanding highlight reel littered season, didn't he? So well done to Jonathan Ford for winning that. He did face stiff competition from Jared Samet, and I also thought early on in the voting that Mark Corrala and Jonathan Ford might have split votes. Because everyone loved watching Toulouse this year when we got the opportunity to. Their attacking
they were great to
was
watch.
Very entertaining. Any play,
and there was just something a little bit retro about them as well.
Yeah,
in general, and their general attitude was a little bit of a throwback, which I quite liked.
And I think the gangly sort of loose play nature of Jonathan Ford plays a big part in that whole entertainment factor. So I do think he was totally the deserved winner overall. Although I actually went different. I went for Alex Walker. Alan did as well, so we were contributing to him receiving multiple votes. I just thought every time I watched Alex Walker play, I saw a Super League player playing in the Championship.
Well, now we'll get to see him in the Super League.
Exactly. Oh, I put that you went for Chris Kendall again. You obviously didn't, so you must have gone for someone else.
I think I went for Connor Robinson.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I would have done.
Yeah, potentially.
From a League One perspective.
You must be the only person then, because he's not out with someone with more votes.
I would guess so, because obviously League One is what I've seen much more of than anything else.
Of course. Okay, Best Brit Abroad then. This is another new award we've brought in this year. I don't know if we'll keep it or not. People give us feedback on whether you like this award being in the options, but from off the 4-man shortlist that we put together, which make up the top 4 places, other people received votes. So James Graham and Josh Hodgson both got votes, despite Josh Hodgson obviously playing a very small amount of the season, coming back from injury last year, as well as one that doesn't really count, but definitely deserves mention. Someone voted Best Brit Abroad, Ollie Holmes, for his antics in Croatia, where he fell asleep on someone's boat and ended up on a little bit of a random day out with a party of Aussies, I think it was. But so there you go. But in reverse order, building up to the big winner, in 4th place was Tom Burgess. In 3rd place was big brother Sam Burgess. In 2nd place was the Raiders' Elliot Whitehead, and that meant our winner for the inaugural winner of the SLP Best Brit Abroad was
also
Gareth...
Worst Hair Award. Yeah,
I thought his hair was good. Gareth Widdop. So well done to Gareth Widdop. Obviously, his presence in that Dragons side was sorely missed towards the back end of the season when it all fell to shit for them. So that could have played a role in people's thinking to pick him. All of us went for Elliot Whitehead, and I have a feeling if the voting was open for a further week, a lot more people might have gone for Elliot Whitehead too, based on his international performances, because he has been exceptional so far for England this winter, autumn, winter. Right, most overrated player then. This is always a wide group.
I think I've voted the same way every year, but you know. Actually, no, I might have changed into. I think I've definitely voted for Kevin Brown in the past. Thinking about it.
Well, previous winners, in 2014 it was Rangi Chase. In 2015 it was shared widely. Carl Ablett, Matty Smith, Kevin Locke and Chris Sandow.
Whoa, Kevin Locke, remember him.
In 2016 it was Sam Tompkins, and in 2017 Kevin Brown received the award. So, let's see what... And everyone has a different view on what is overrated and what is underrated. So, this year it was an open vote with no shortlist. Do you want to take us through?
27 players got a vote. 27 different players get a vote. Those outside the top 3 that we're going to come on to that got more than one vote were, in no particular order, Chris Hill, Kevin Brown, Regan Grace. Did you vote twice?
No, Alan also went for Regan Grace. So we were the 2 votes that he got.
Stephen Ratchford and the one and only that always should be winning this award, in my opinion, John Wilkin.
Well, you weren't the only one who thought that, because there's obviously
someone
more
else
than one
said.
vote.
Yeah, so in joint 3rd place, we've got Richie Myler, Sam Tompkins, Sean O'Loughlin, and Tyrone Roberts. So 2 Wigan players in 3rd place there.
People hate Wigan. People hate winners, Tim. We love an underdog in this country, not a winner. Anyway, there's only one Wigan player now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if Tompkins gets the same level of vitriol when he's not a Wigan player. I imagine he will, because people...
I think he will. I think if anything, it'll accentuate. I think being in that Catalan side, it'll focus it even more. If that's even possible.
After that group, the voting became a bit more clear-cut.
Yeah, for 2nd place, also someone who features on the other side of the coin, you could say Ben Barber in 2nd place. So the Man of Steel himself.
Yeah.
As most overrated. I think that tells a tale on that award. And the winner of the 2018 Super League Pod Most Overrated Player was Luke Gale.
2017 Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Luke Gale.
So both the 2017 and 2018 Man of Steel were both on the overrated player list.
And in the joint 3rd list was a previous Man of Steel winner as well in Sam Tompkins.
Yeah.
So we have interesting views on overrated, I think is the fair thing to say. And we probably have interesting views too on underrated.
Well, let's just touch back on our voting. So you went for Regan Grace just because you don't like his hair.
I love his hair. I think his hair's fantastic. I think it's one of my favourite things about him. My views on Regan Grace are really well documented. I am not a fan of him being allowed to be pulled out of the Wales squad.
No, I think that's atrocious.
I think that's awful.
And if what's been reported is true, that they've been told that this has been reported by other media, that the two Welsh players that play for St Helens were told you wouldn't have a job at St Helens next year if you go and play for Wales. That's absolutely atrocious.
Well, I think that I'd call a smell of bollocks and bullshit on that, because he was there. He played in like 29 games or something for St Helens last season, and he scored more tries, I think, than Tommy Makinson. So I'd say there's a whiff of bullshit in the air on that, but certainly I don't think that it would be complete bullshit that he might have been pressured by the club to not take on those extra fixtures. But it's very disappointing that he's allowed that situation to roll through. He's a young player, so maybe feels he can't stand up to that sort of pressure. But anyway, my views on Regan Grace are that he misses as many opportunities as he takes. And people
but that's
are already
okay. That's all right, because he's taking them and he's getting them.
People are already anointing him as a top tier winger because of the flashes of absolute incredible evasion, grace, class, and just beauty that he demonstrates. But he has got to work a lot harder at a number of aspects of his game to get close to that upper echelon of wingers in our competition, in my view. And this is more a work harder Regan than a you're not good enough Regan. Is
this like your love letter to George Williams earlier in the year?
No, I just think people have already anointed him to a level that he isn't yet at. And I think it was done straight away on his first appearance, and I feel a bit sorry for him on that, but that's why I think he's overrated. You went for John Wilkin. I think you've made no secret of that before when you were going through the people who were voted.
I've thought this about Wilkin for years, that he uses his media profile to talk up how good he is as a player. I don't think he is that good. I think he is average, and he is made to look better by the structure that fits him.
I actually think this year he was much better than he's been for 3 seasons.
Well, that is because he's playing in a position that more suited him rather than having to play half his games at half back, to be fair.
That is fair. Okay, most underrated player then. Previous winners of this. In 2014, it was Oliver Holmes. In 2015, doing the double of winning overrated and underrated, was Carl Ablett. In 2016, it was Rhys Hambury. In 2017, last year, it was Castleford's Matt Cook who won this award. Again, this one reverted to an open vote for 2018 because, hey, loads of people have different views, as was demonstrated by the way this panned out. 38 different players received votes in a category that saw the widest range of different players earning a vote. So, in a way, it's fitting that a huge group are classed as joint second, and then there was one clear winner. So in the group of joint second, there was 9 players who earned a handful of votes, and that was Jimmy Kinehorst, Johnny Lomax.
Which club? Yeah.
Well, just him as a player. Jimmy Kinehorst, Johnny Lomax, Liam Farrell, Paul Clough, Paul McShane, Rob Mulhern, Sam Powell, Willie Isa, and Morgan Escaray. So you'll notice in there that there was 4 Wigan players, a couple, a Leeds player, a couple of players who were very close to dream teams, and a player that was in the dream team as well. So wide ranging in all of that. The winner, though, the clear winner, was Wakefield Trinity's Matty Ashurst, the most underrated player for 2018 from the Super League pod. Looking at how we went, Tim, we went the same way. We went with Paul Clough of the Huddersfield Giants.
Yeah, I think Paul Clough, by the very nature of the award, doesn't get enough raps for the work he does. I think also the nice thing about Paul Clough is the way he's improved over his career. So he's now at the stage where he's improved to be a mainline player, which he never really looked like for a long time. He always looked like a bit part sort of squad player. He never really looked like someone you'd be able to depend on.
I know what you mean. Even at Widnes when he kind of was.
Yeah.
in their first choice group, you sort of thought he was only ever playing because they couldn't afford someone better, and he was never really that